Hi everybody, this is some interesting and useful information from the Daily Telegraph, Thursday 6 September 2012. Build your way out of recession. Cameron eases planning rules to let homeowners put up bigger extensions and conservatories. By James Kirkup and Christopher Hope. Homeowners will be allowed to build large conservatories and extensions without requiring planning permission. So another point here, which is very interesting to mention as well. Under the current existing permitted development rules, single-story rear extension and conservatories can be constructed without planning permission, as long as they do not extend beyond the rear wall of the original house by a set distance. For semi-detached properties, the current limit is 3 meters, 9 feet, 11 inches, and for detached homes, 4 meters, 13 feet, 1 inch. Under temporary rules to be put in place next month, those limits will be doubled, meaning that many extensions currently requiring permission could go ahead immediately. The changes will not apply to loft extensions because the new exemptions will apply to only single-story projects. The changes to domestic planning permission will be time-limited and are due to expire in 2015. Ministers hope this will encourage households to bring forward plans to spend on home improvements. As well as the potential economic benefits, coalition strategists believe that the focus on home improvements will persuade voters that the government is in touch with their hopes and ambition in other moves to be announced today. I'm not going to talk about this 16,000 first-time buyers. I'll move to this one, which is very important. Businesses will be allowed to expand their premises significantly without planning permission. Shops will be free to add another 100 square meters, which means 1,076 feet of working space, and industrial units twice as much. So really these are very good news for shop owners and small businesses, is that you can extend your business and the space of your business, at the back. So think carefully about making good use of these changes. There is another important information here which I would like to draw your attention to. As well as relaxing planning rules for home improvements, ministers also said that they want to make it easier for developers to build new housing developments and other major projects. Next year, they will publish legislation proposing changes to the planning appeals system that will make it harder for residents to hold up developments. Councils are also being encouraged to allow more building on greenbelt land, a move that has angered some Conservative MPs. This is a very important questions and answers regarding this article, Thursday, September the 6th, 2012, from the Daily Telegraph. Question and answers. How will it affect families' planning and extension? What are the current rules? Under the existing permitted development rules, single-story rear extensions and conservatories can be constructed without planning permission, as long as they do not extend more than a set distance beyond the rear wall of the original house. What is the distance? No more than 3 meter, 9.8 feet in a semi-detached home and 4 meter, 13.1 feet in a detached property. What is changing? These limits will be doubled to 6 meter, 19.7 feet for semi-detached homes, and to 8 meter, which means 26.2 feet for detached properties. Will the changes apply to loft extensions? No, just single-story extensions. Aren't single-story extensions allowed without permission, with certain space guidelines? Yes, technical guidance says that permission is not required if the extension takes up less than 50% of the property's surrounding area. It is unclear how the new changes being announced today affect this. I repeat, yes, technical guidance says that permissions is not required if the extension takes up less than 50% of the property's surrounding area. It is unclear how the new changes being announced today affect this. So you need to discuss this with your consultant. Do the changes apply to properties in conservation areas, World Heritage Sites, or areas of outstanding natural beauty? No, permitted development rights are already more limited in these areas. How much can it cost to get planning permission? Typically, it costs £150 to obtain a planning consent, with any further professional fees, such as architects' charges, possibly running into thousands of pounds. Also, there are structural engineers' fees, which are not mentioned here. Why are the rules changing? The government wants to make it easier for people to develop their own homes and remove the red tape around asking for permission for modest extensions. When will the changes take effect? Possibly by the end of this year. The announcement is today, and consultation paper will be published as early as next week. Today, as you remember, it is the 6th September, according to the newspaper. There will then follow a 6-week consultation period to cover any technical issues. The change will require a change to secondary legislation in Parliament. Why are the plans limited for only 3 years? The changes are time limited to 2015. That means by the end of 2015, the law will change. This is to ensure that they provide a boost to the economy by forcing people to bring forward any development plans and start them in the next 3 years. Could the changes become permanent? Yes, ministers want to review the proposals after 3 years. Officials say nothing would stop a successful policy being extended. But anyway, this 2015, you better check by when is, during 2015. What is the exact date, exact month. But here, a very interesting drawing which you need to familiarize yourself with, which is when you have here a detached house, right? The current distance, as you can see, is 4 meter, which is 13 feet. At the back, current distance allowed without planning permission, and the proposed distance will be 8 meter, which is 26 feet. So you can have that much, really. Okay, double the distance. So instead of 4, it can become 8 meter. And now that for the terrace house, they say here in the newspaper that at the moment you're allowed 3 meters. So now it can be extended up to 6 meters. So the 3 meter, which is 10 feet, now can become 6 meters, which is 20 feet, which is the blue ones, as you can see. This is according to the new proposals. But always remember, whenever you do work, you do better check with a planning officer of your council, especially it could be conservation area or could be some issues. So never build without checking whether you have proper permitted development and proper planning permission, and you're following the guidelines properly. Otherwise, the enforcement officer will force you to knock it down or push it, this side or that side, or pull it backward. Okay, have a nice day.